statements and comments that you all may have pertaining to the annexation only. It's not about how we got here, it's what we're going to do because we're here and how we're going to move forward. No personal attacks, none of that stuff. All that stuff is City Hall. Tonight we're talking about what we're going to do to move the city forward. Okay. I've been council president for the last 7 months. And it's been an experience for me. On the outside looking in, it's like, why don't we just do this and just do that? But now that you get the insight, see what's going on, it's a little more detailed than what most people would expect. When you don't have no money, you got a lot of problems. It's easy when you got money, it's basically problems with family. But I can tell you, I appreciate the support of Martin and King has been there, and Joei Graham, and Barbara Thomas. I appreciate all their cooperativeness, and we try to do what we can do to move the city forward one way or the other. And also the relationship that we've strengthened with the mayor now, working together instead of fighting at each other. As of right now, two of the commissioners are here, and that is Chris Blackburn and Sandra Morgan. You don't mind, just stand up and introduce yourself and a little bit about you.
My name is Chris Glassburn. I presently work for Cuyahoga County, where I do budget and policy. Previous to that, I worked in the state legislature in the House of Representatives for parts of 9 years. Prior to that, I was on the North Olmsted School Board. In each of my stops, I have done, my career has been on creating programs and balancing budgets. On each of those stops, I entered in and we had a budget crisis and we fixed it and we got out of it. So I'm here mostly to help on that front. I'm here just on my own report, and I'm hoping to present you with as much information as possible when it's time for you to make decisions. So thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sandra Morgan, and I'm a proud resident of East Cleveland. I've been here for about 10 years, but I'm a lifelong Clevelander. As I have stated previously, my family came to Cleveland in 1895, and so I have a vested interest in this region. I currently work at Kent State University as the Director of External Affairs and Communications. It's a job that I love because I get to build bridges between organizations and communities for mutual benefit, which is, I think, the skill that I bring here to the table. We're looking to build bridges and look for mutually beneficial solutions to the issues that our community faces right now. Previous to working at the Kent State University, I worked for the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, and before that, I worked for World Trade Center Cleveland, where I was the regional manager for Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And again, built bridges between the state of Ohio and those regions for trade and investment purposes. I look forward to working on behalf of our community and making sure that that we highlight the absolute best parts of our community and that we come to the best solutions possible. Thanks.
Thank you. The other gentleman is Andrew Jackson. He's not here yet. He's running a little behind. So when he comes in, I'll go ahead and introduce him to you all as well. Before we get started, any comments from the council members?
I'd like to. Good evening. Thank you for coming out. This has been a struggle. This whole annexation process has been a struggle for all of us. And we're in a situation where we don't have many options. Next year, we have to cut the budget $1 million. That's 2017. And the following year after that, 2018, $2.6 million. We don't have any new revenue coming in the city of any significant impact. And most of us, and I can speak mostly for myself, are reluctant about the whole merger and annexation, whichever term you want to use. But we have to look out for the best interests of the citizens of East Cleveland. So we have to have the conversation. Cleveland Heights hasn't stepped up to help us. South Euclid hasn't stepped up to help us. Euclid has not stepped up to help us. The only one that's shown any indication where we could try to do something for you It's the city of Cleveland. I ever think the city of Cleveland has its own challenges. I was glad to read today that the teachers didn't have to go on strike. But if you look at the educational component of it, Cleveland and East Cleveland, in terms of the school system, has been at the bottom for over 20 years. And the reluctance of the police department, and I don't want to be negative, but I need to share this because I hear it all the time. But 2 years ago, 2 individuals were shot up at Heritage Middle School. You need to hear that. They didn't have a gun or nothing like that 137 times. This is the police department that will be transitioning to once the process runs. So the fundamental question is, I ask myself, philosophically, is what can Cleveland do for us? They have infrastructure problems, they have abandoned housing, et cetera, et cetera. That hasn't been answered yet. And when I talk to the council people from Cleveland, they wait and see what we're gonna do. Well, this body have put together 3 commissioners who we feel good about. And their role and their function is to get the best for the citizens of East Cleveland. Not the council, but the citizens. So we went through a process of interviewing 22 people. We got down to 3. So ultimately, once the process runs its course, it'll come to the voters, Cleveland and East Cleveland. But I'm sad to say that the leadership at the top, and I've said this a number of times, 2 years ago I wrote a letter to the governor, asked him to come and help us. I talked to Tim King, one of his right-hand person, to say, well, Martin, we'll see what we can do. Ultimately, they didn't put us in a budget. When I wrote that letter 2 years ago, there was a rainy day budget fund of $1 billion. Today it's $2 billion sitting in the bank. Now, our budget deficit currently is $2.6 million, and I have to say the mayor and the administration have done a good job of reducing that over the last 2 years. So we're not Detroit. We don't have a $1 billion situation. It's down to $2.6 million, which is manageable. So the question that has to be asked is, why is not the state stepping in to help us? They're monitoring our spending. They meet every month here in the library, and they've guided us to reduce the budget. But we need help from the state. If we're going to transition out of this process in the next 4 or 5 years, the state would have to step in. So I asked the question, and I asked it philosophically. But is their preference to do it when Cleveland, when we transition in Cleveland? Why don't they do it now? $2 billion, and let me share this with you. Of the 59 municipalities in Cuyahoga County, we're not the only one complaining about the local government fund being cut over the last 4 or 5 years. All of them are. So Kent Smith, and I need to say this about him, our state rep, he tried to help us to at least get the local government fund reinstated, but nothing's happened. Ultimately, once this goes the whole process, the only way that we're going to really be able to get out of this situation is the state is going to step in and help us. But I feel like at times the gun is against our head. Well, we're in a situation now where if we don't reach out with Cleveland and work with Cleveland, they're not going to do anything. We got a study that's going to take place hopefully the next month to study this whole situation of Conway and McKenzie, internationally known, look at this situation. So it's a lot of questions that has to be asked. When I pray about this situation, it's my hope when I drive through Cleveland, through the potholes, when I drive through Cleveland and see the abandoned housing and all the issues that we're facing and a lot of other municipalities are facing, I ask the question,